Hello and welcome to this week's Live Local and Loud with me, Kevin Gaughan. On today's show I shall be chatting to the wonderful Gareth and John from New Orleans inspired soul jazz funk band King Brasstards. And we'll also be playing lots of homegrown music by local bands. I hope you're all well and having a great week. To kick this week's show off, let's have a little bit of The Social Ignition and Victim.
Tell me what we're fighting for, because the last thing we need is another victim of a war. Ain't that simple, but it's clear to see. But if we lay down our guns, can live in harmony, harmony, in harmony, in harmony. We need love, no, we need love, no, we need love, we need love, in harmony, in harmony, in harmony. We need love, no, we need love, no, we need love. In this world that we live in, another life lost, can't stop this war from beginning. Ain't no trust, so we all stop forgiving. Not the ones that gave us, even though they're still grieving. Ain't no hope in this world that we live in. Society's broke, we can take away the feeling. Ain't no trust in this world we all see a life of another, all drowning in misery. In misery. Someone tell me what we're fighting for, because the last thing we need is another victim of a war. Ain't that simple, but it's clear to see. But if we lay down our guns, but we can live in harmony, in harmony, in harmony. We need love, no, we need love, no, we need love, we need love, in harmony, in harmony, in harmony. We need love, no, we need love, no, we need love. Someone tell me what we're fighting for, because the last thing we need is another victim of a war. Ain't that simple, but it's clear to see. But if we lay down our guns, tell me what we're fighting for. Because I'm lost and we need another victim of a war. Ain't that simple, but it's clear to see. But if we lay down our guns, we can live in harmony. In harmony, in harmony. We need love, we need love, we need love, we need love. In harmony, in harmony, in harmony. We need love, we need love, we need love.
All the way from sunny Hinckley, that was the Social Ignition and Victim. They're currently on the touring circuit. They've just played Barefoot Festival and Camp Bestival in Shropshire. So yes, very busy band. Okay, let's have a brand new one now from Open Arms, Other Side of Life.
Place
That was Open Arms and Other Side of Life. Now it's this time for this week's interview where I'm chatting to the wonderful Gareth and John from a local New Orleans inspired soul jazz funk band, King Brasstards. But first of all, we'll start off with one of their songs, Bingo Bango. That was Bingo Bango by the amazing King Brasstards. And this week's interview on Live, Local and Loud is with Steve, the sousaphone player, and Gareth, the singer and trumpet player. Hello, both. How the devil are you today?
Good afternoon.
Very well, thank you.
Excellent. First of all, I've got to ask you, what on earth is a sousaphone?
Okay, a sousaphone, it's a big instrument that you see played in the big American marching bands. It's like a big ring that you wear around your kind of shoulder with a massive funnel on the top.
Like a big sort of trombone type thing.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a big. It's like wearing a big tire,
but in a ring. Yeah,
yeah, and then with a big kind of horn pointing forwards. It's quite a story, really. It's essentially, if you know what a tuba is, it's one of them, but it's been modified so that the sound goes forwards, not up in the air. If you play a tuba, the sound goes straight up. But because in those big American marching bands, the guys at the front, the trumpets, which could be hundreds of people down the line, need to be able to hear the bass. So it points forward, so the bass goes that way.
So just give us some background information. King Brasstards. Now, they seem to have been around. Obviously, you've got to be careful how you say that. They seem to have been around an awful long time. Well, a few years now. Can you tell us how the band started and roughly how long it's been around?
Okay. Can I start that one, Gareth, and chip in? So,
yeah, of course.
About, 20 years ago, I was playing in a band, playing more traditional Dixieland kind of jazz stuff. And I got asked to do some music workshops with some teenagers in Derby to put a band like the Brasstards together, just for a few workshops, then a gig. And I did. And it was great. And I said to myself at that point, one day I want to put this band together for real. Fast forward 7 years or something from there, and I meet Gareth in another band we're playing in. And I'm telling him the same story. He said, yeah, I was thinking that too. Let's do it. And the week after, we had our first rehearsal. And that was it, really. That was 7 years ago now.
Wow. So you're busy these days. Tell us what you've been up to. You're touring or what?
There's all sorts going on, really. Some really cool stuff of late. We got back from we had a trip to Jersey this bank holiday weekend just gone.
Wow.
A couple of weeks before that, we were in France at a festival called Mad Hatters Festival, which is our kind of first European it's a European debut. And then we've done some really sort of big stuff in terms of we've done the Commonwealth Games. We've done.
Hang on. Back the truck up. What do you mean you've done the Commonwealth Games?
Well, we played at a couple of the Commonwealth Games events. So it was the beach volleyball and the lawn bowls. We were the entertainment of both of those, and it's something that came in really last minute, but it was really good fun to do.
Wow, that's brilliant. That must have led to a few more Facebook followers and stuff.
Yeah, and potentially another big sporting gig. Although I'm not going to say because it's not quite official yet, so I can't really say what that is. But yeah, that's led to potentially another big gig. And to be honest, we've kind of found a bit of a niche in the sport world. Festivals and sporting events tend to be where the majority of our stuff comes from now, which is, they're both really fun to do. It's great to be part of the atmosphere at some of these sporting events. We did Formula One last year. We've done race days at Newmarket, sort of Peaky Blinder themed stuff, and we've just found that I guess the versatility of the band in terms of we can play anything with our little twist on it. Has been what's really worked in our favour in that regard.
Wow! How do you go through an agency or something to get these gigs?
We work with several agents. Me and Steve kind of split things down the middle in terms of workload. So Steve's got a certain amount of agents that he works with, and I've got a certain amount that I work with, and we've got really good relationships with them all. To be fair, and they've given us a lot of work, and we're kind of working with new people, new agencies all the time. Yeah, especially with festivals.
Word of mouth as well also crops up. Often when we do a gig on the sousaphone, we've got a big QR code, so people can, people are taking pictures all the time, so it just takes them to our page. So if they're looking for a band, they can get into direct contact. 36 inches across.
Right.
It's got the name of the band and the QR code. So people are taking pictures, and it automatically, on the iPhones, just takes them to the to all our social media.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. God.
Yeah, people get in touch directly as well, the agents.
Wow. Okay, now we've just you're a big band, aren't you? About seven-piece band, is that right?
That's right, yeah. So we've got two trumpets, saxophone, trombone, sousaphone, drums and percussion, and myself and the trombone player sing as well. In fact, pretty much everybody. Obviously, it's Steve, although he can sing, doesn't get the chance to sing very much because he's always holding down the bass line. But everybody kind of chants and sings. But myself and Spencer, the trombone player, are the two lead singers. So we kind of we do kind of an equal amount of sort of lead vocal, and it's very kind of duet based now. So we kind of go for that double act thing on stage, which seems to have been a bit of an X factor for us, having the two singers. You don't get many bands that have got two quite different singers as well. We're not similar in our voices, so that's really worked well for us. And it's something we've honed over the past year and a half. Definitely, we've really during lockdown we really kind of honed it and it improved at that side of things. To really sort of excel the show.
And I see you've got the famous Malcolm Dazar on drums as well.
Yeah, he does quite a bit with us. It's become a sort of, being honest, it's become quite a big family, isn't it, Steve? It's a lot of people involved now.
There's the way it works. We've there's the core band, which is the 7-piece, but then there's at least probably another 12 regular players that join, that help us out if people can't make it. So we can often send out, a couple of bands at the same time. We've got enough players, or sometimes 3 bands at different places all at the same time. So we've got a real family of musicians, which is really nice.
That must be confusing. So how do you identify between them? Because your Facebook page says King Brasstards are playing here, same night they're playing somewhere else, same night they're playing somewhere else.
Well, yeah, you're guaranteed to see us somewhere. That's the bottom line.
That's just going to blow my mind if I see that on your Facebook page.
But it all kind of, well, if you look, there's all sorts of people on there. I mean, Dave Anderson is the regular drummer. He's the
right.
And Malk does the ones that Dave can't do.
I see. Because Malcolm seems to be playing in most bands I see these days.
Yeah. See, we're all kind of jobbing musicians, and it's good because he's keeping this kind of community of musicians in work.
All right.
We've got loads of work.
Right. So you're all professional musicians then?
Yeah.
Yeah, the vast majority are professional or strongly semi-professional. They a good part of their income is from music, even though they might do something else.
Right.
And it's and the thing that we've found over the past couple of years is the other teams, if you like. Each team has kind of developed their own kind of show. It's slightly different if you see this combination of people or that combination of people. We try not to make it too carbon copy. No, you have to do this and this. We try and get them to make it their own. And this is kind of the whole ethos of the band, really, is to just have fun with it, entertain people, and give it your all. Do you it doesn't have to be.
Do you ad lib when you're playing live?
Absolutely, yeah. It's not a you'll hear the phrase with a lot of musicians. I need we need the dots. I'm going to read the dots for this. There are gigs where that works. Don't get me wrong, but it's that's not really what we're about. It's about using your ears and sort of, for want of a better word, vibing. Finding the vibe with the other players. There's loads of ad-libbing. And I mean, I can think of several songs in the set where I've never really sang them the same way twice, or we've never played exactly the same arrangement twice. It's always a case of judging what the crowd are gonna go for. And it's something I think like with all of us who front it have got a lot better at over the last few years, just because we've done so much of it. I mean, there's been a crazy amount of shows, and no two shows are the same either. Sometimes you're kind of walking in the street and completely unplugged and acoustic. We've got a battery system. Steve's really good on the tech side of things, so we've got a battery system where we can mic most everything that needs to be mic'd up. We can mic up in an outdoor situation, but we also do festivals where we're on a big stage and it's all pumping out of a massive PA. And as Steve knows, they're my favourite gigs personally. Yeah. And that's with the full 7-piece band. So
That's amazing. I love being in the audience when the band's ad-libbing, because you know that it's unique. This performance will never happen the same again. Okay, so we've played Bingo Bango at the beginning. Let's play Mambo Italiano. Before we do, can someone tell us a bit about the song?
Yeah, it was one we just started doing. I saw a version of it by a guy called Daniel Boaventura, who's Portuguese, I think he is, really quite in Portugal and that sort of area. He's a really acclaimed actor, but also a great singer as well. And I saw this version of it when I was sort of looking at songs to do myself solo wise. I saw this version of it on YouTube of him doing it, and the brass lines and the feel of it sort of I really thought kind of worked. And I thought, yeah, a bit of Brasstards treatment, and this could really work. And actually, the guys all got me to change the intro at the start to be more characteristic of us as a band, and that really works.
Right, to add your own little twist to it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
yeah.
Let's hear Mambo Italiano by the amazing King Brasstards.
A boy went back to Napoli because he missed the scenery, the native dances and the charming songs. But wait a minute, something's wrong. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Go, go Joe, you mixed up with the Siciliano. Oh, you Calabrese do the mambo like a crazy Anna. Hey Mambo, no more tarantella. Hey Mambo, try not to mozzarella. Go, go Joe, you mixed up with the Siciliano. Try Gividi with a bassi guardi pastorana. Hey gomba, I love it when you dance a rumba. But take up some advice, Cassino, learn how to mambo. If you're gonna be a square, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Go, go Joe, you mixed up with Siciliano. Ryan Wester. Oh yeah, hey gomba, I love it how you dance rumba. We take up some advice, Passino, learn how to mambo. If you're gonna be a square, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Go, go Joe, you mixed up with Siciliano. David! How you dance a rumba. We'll take up some advice, Passino, learn how to mambo. If you're gonna be a square, you ain't gonna go nowhere. No, hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Hey Mambo, Mambo Italiano. Go, go Joe, and mixed up Siciliano. Let's hear them quit Steve with a Mambo Italiano.
That was Mambo Italiano by the amazing King Brasstards, and this week's interview is with Steve, the sousaphone player, and Gareth, the singer and trumpet player. So, guys, you're well travelled then, by the sounds of it. Is there a gig or festival that really has been the most memorable one so far, would you say?
They've all kind of got they're good points. I mean, they're all good, really. I mean, Nostock was particularly good, wasn't it? I think this year.
Yeah, Nostock was fantastic. Yeah, really, really good. And it was a long time coming as well. It was something that was booked for 2020 originally. We do quite a lot of work with an agency run by the Rivers old agent. If you're Leicester based, you'll know you will have probably heard of them. And she gets us some really good festival gigs. Wilderness Festival was another one that was really memorable. I'm talking pre-lockdown now. We did some really memorable festivals. Swingamajig Festival, Camp Festival.
Yeah.
They're all incredible, you know.
And you've done one in France, so that's your first one over in Europe, is it?
Yeah, that was an adventure, wasn't it, Steve?
It was. It was a lot of driving, a lot of sleeping, a lot of drinking.
What was it like playing in France? Was it different to any of the festivals over here?
That festival was quite a British affair. It was quite a lot of the sort of expat community. Oh. So it didn't feel an awful lot different to playing here. But I have to say, that being said, it was like nothing that we'd done over here in terms of the atmosphere and the French way. Steve actually first commented on this, and I thought, yeah, you're right. The French way of doing things is just so much more laid back, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, because I've just been on the road, gigging for the last 3 weeks, and then we went to France, and I was kind of running, sprinting with life, and we got to France, and I just had to stop because everything was just so much more laid back, and it was really good when we first got there. Right. I had to, because the times changed. Oh no, you're on at this time now. Can you sound better? And it was like, oh, okay, and it just all got, it just gave us a chance to all relax.
Yeah,
get into the sunshine, which was blistering.
Absolutely, yeah. The weather was, and to be honest with you, it was. We did 2 shows in France at that festival, and the Saturday night was actually quite tough because we were on an hour's sleep, lot of driving, leaving Leicester at 4 p.m, getting there at sort of 7 in the morning, and then hanging around all day in the blistering sunshine, where nowhere really to catch a bit of shelter and sleep. And kind of dehydrated and stuff. It was quite a tough one to put it out the bag for the Saturday night, but on the Sunday we were all into the swing of it, and it felt a lot easier, But in those situations, the crowd often lift you, and they definitely did on that one. They were really, 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 really up for it, and I have to say the quality of bands at that festival was exceptional as well. Every band was really phenomenal.
Yeah,
brilliant. Do you think you'll be going over to Europe again then?
We want to look at getting some more European stuff, get a little European tour together maybe next year.
It's just a tough kind of landscape to navigate now post Brexit. It's there's a lot more involved. It's a lot more costly to do, but at the same time, I get the feeling there's still the appetite there for British bands, and there's still the opportunity. So something that we need to sit down and have a look at. But we definitely all want to go back, and we've got some things we're targeting at the moment for next year. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your album. I guess you've got an album in the pipeline.
The long-awaited third album, Steve.
Yeah. Well, it's been going on. It is just about finished, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we did some of it during lockdown. We did some of it before lockdown, and there's still a few bits to do post lockdown. But we kind of got diverted into doing other things. It was all, it is virtually finished. We've just got to put it out. Have we got to release that yet? I don't think we have, but there's some cool tunes on it, so it's going to be worth the wait.
Is it? Yeah. Is it all your own music, or is it covers?
It's a mixture of both. We kind of that's very much our philosophy. I mean, I've kind of always drilled that into everybody, is that, like, you don't have to be a covers band or an original band, like in a box. Like, a lot of my favorite artists and bands do both, and I listen to and watch on YouTube their covers as much as I do their own stuff. And I think for a live show perspective, it's good to have something that connects with the audience, which is often a cover, but then be able to showcase your songwriting skills as well. So it will be a kind of 50-50. I haven't actually looked at it to see what the split is, but it's usually a 50-50 or 60-40 in favour of covers, maybe. But it's always a blend of the two.
Yeah, actually, that's the thought. Would you say that new bands starting out, they would benefit from doing more covers than original stuff to get people interested?
I think it's down to if you want to earn any money at it, then you've got to do covers, really. If you want to start, but if you want to go in and live the dream and go for that, playing for free to get your music out there, and that's kind of the only way you can really do that, is to go out there and play it. In hope that somebody will pick it up and market it.
Yeah, I think a good way to start out is definitely to blend the two, because then your live shows, like I say, you're connecting with an audience, and then you're gradually sifting in. You're gradually working in your own songs, you know, and if you look at like throughout history, quite a lot of big hits from bands, you think it's their song, but actually it was done years before, and it was just their version that got famous.
Yeah.
So you know, I always think just do good music that you enjoy and you believe in, whether that's a cover or you've written it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good advice there. So yeah, the album. So it's just going to go. Any idea when it might be released then?
I think we're definitely looking at 2023. And with us, it's just tough to work out when we're going to tour it, isn't it, Steve?
Well, yeah, and you know, we're so busy actually gigging that we, you know, the last bit in the studio, we've been on the road, like, you know, even throughout lockdown, because we can play outside and acoustic. When things started to open up, you know, we just haven't stopped working. That's the bottom line. So just, you know, we did spend a lot of time in the studio, but now we're just out on the road. So we need to get back in the studio and just finish off the last little bits. So, but it's probably going to be next year now, because the rest of the year is looking incredibly busy.
Unless you can record a live album.
Well, we've done that as well. We did a live album for Cosmopolitan Arts Festival, which was an online festival again this year in March. In fact, the tracks that you're playing today are from that live album. There's a live video on YouTube of that set.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, bingo bango's from that, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, they all are. Yeah. All 3 tracks that I've sent to you are all from the live recording.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean the track. One thing that's been really cool with the next album has been the contributions from various band members. More people have got involved in writing, and we're all very different writers. Like, you know, Steve writes quite very much on that. It's from that trad kind of tradition. That's what he's done for years, and he writes great electro swing stuff. There was a track on the last album, Muggsy Balone, which got picked up by Radio 3. And then myself, I'm kind of down the funky route when it comes to writing. Like the recent release we did with Lisa Millett and Gary Davis, Up All Night, which you can find on Spotify. That's a co-write with Lisa and myself and Steve. And then you get others bring other flavours to it. Ryan, our sax player, is very much in the modern jazz world, but writes with the Brasstards in mind. And the track that you'll be playing towards the end of the show, or at the end of the interview, sorry, not show, is written by Ryan, and it's you know, and we all think it's one of the best tracks on the album. So, and it goes down the storm live as well, even if people haven't heard it before.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a moment, just before I play it. But before we do, tell us about you've got some gigs coming up, some local gigs coming up, haven't you, shortly?
Yeah, for once.
Yeah. So you got the Brewbeat Festival on the 4th of September 2022. So that's in a couple of days' time.
That's the 3rd of September.
Oh, is it? The 3rd of September?
Yeah.
Oh, I do apologise. That's the 3rd of September. And whereabouts is that?
That's at Green Dragon Square. So it's in town. It was the first year of it last year, and we had a
Green Dragon Square in the middle of Leicester, isn't it?
In the middle of Leicester, just behind the market. Great location for a festival, and we're headlining the Saturday night. But the lineup all weekend is really good. I mean, you've got a reggae artist that I'm a big fan of, Kiko Bunny's headlining the Friday. The Haggis Horns, who again I'm good friends of mine and a great band, are headlining the Sunday as well. And so they've really stepped it up this year in terms of getting sort of really good out of town names, as well as a lot of local talent and a lot of great local DJs as well. And it's all completely free. So do go and check that out. Brewbeat. If you search for Brewbeat on social media, you'll find all the info there.
Wow, that sounds brilliant. And then after that, you've got. Have you got any others after that in England, or are they?
There's one on Sunday the 4th, which would be a great family day out at Knighton Park Show. You know, there's a fun fair. There'll be all the traditional things that go on at family fun days. You know, 1 o'clock and 3:30, I think.
Right. In the afternoon. Yeah, that'll be good as well. So how do people follow you guys?
You'll find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all the usuals.
And say basically, and what's your name? King Brasstards, or
you'll find us at K Brasstards.
K Brasstards, brilliant.
Or on Facebook, YouTube, and all that. You'll just search King Brasstards.
Yeah, excellent. All right then. Thank you very much for that. Thanks very much for chatting with us today, guys. Before we go though, we're just going to play SYC. Could you just briefly tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, this is so there's kind of, as we were talking earlier on, two strands to the band. There's the kind of the covers party band, and then there's the original stuff, which we take quite seriously. And this is one we actually do slip into the live set wherever, whether it's a party or a festival or whatever. It's called SYC, and it's it's just a nice summer tune written by our sax player Ryan West, who's an ex-Leeds College of Music jazz saxophonist graduate. And it's just a really nice kind of summer tune. You need to be sipping a Pimm's on the beach to this one.
SYC by King Brasstards. That was me chatting to Gareth and John from the wonderful King Brasstards. Unfortunately, Gareth's phone battery ran out towards the end of that, so he just disappeared into the ether. Okay, it was great fun though, chatting to them, finding out about the band, and fantastic band to see live if you can. Okie dokie, so now it's time for a little bit of the Delagrants and 2020. I'll let you guess what this is and what this is about.
funny how quickly things can change. In just a few days, the whole world's strange. They said we should have seen it coming. Yeah, who can we blame? We're just a little bitty part of Mother Nature's game. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die. New day is dawning of these isolation blues. I got the radio on with more bad news. I'm stuck in these four walls. There's nothing I can do but sit down and pray to God that nothing hurts you. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die. Oh, but the clock keeps a turning, days keep a rolling by. You pray the day is gonna come when this virus gonna die.
That was the Delagrants and 2020, inspired by and written and recorded during the first lockdown in 2020. Okay, so to wrap this week's show up, let's have a little bit of Refuge and I Feel Life.
Firing up my senses, scintillating my skin, tickling all of my toes, my tongue tingling, falling stars.
that was the wonderful Refuge and I Feel Life. Don't think they're going anymore. That wraps up another live, local and loud with me, Kevin Gaughan. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Don't forget, if you want to listen to any of these interviews or shows on Live, Local and Loud, check out musicanleicester.co.uk and you'll find a handy playlist down the right hand side. Also, don't forget that if you want to see what's on live musically in Leicestershire, then check out Music in Leicester's gig guide. It's all there at musicanleicester.co.uk. So do have a great week, and I'll see you next Thursday, 5 o'clock here on Hermitage FM.